About 3 a.m. Oh, yeah, that's just your drunk and really tired time. Okay. Welcome everybody to the program. My name is Revolution McKinnis, sometimes known as RevMac Live, which is a good thing. The live part, well, the living part, that is, anyway. And I am really excited to be here tonight because we are going to talk dogs. And, okay, fine. I know you guys call me that once in a while, but I mean, it's all in good fun. And we're going to talk dogs and with Billie Groom, and Billie Groom's in Canada. We're going to get to her. Yeah, okay, relax, everybody. We'll get to the dogs in a second. Let's talk about Club Deck real quick. And what is Club Deck? Well, Club Deck is our sponsor, and Club Deck is an app that if you know what Clubhouse is, then you might imagine that you could use Club Deck on Clubhouse. So instead of using your phone to be on Clubhouse, you could use Club Deck. Now, you might be saying, well, WTF, what is Clubhouse? Yeah, wow. That's a whole other can of worms. Like it could ruin your life like a good cult leader. Clubhouse is an audio program that, I don't know, it's like Haps. You can have a lot of people talking at once, and it's a great way to connect with people. Just Google, Clubhouse audio and check it out. I think anybody can join now. I don't know that you need an invitation. I'm not sure how that works, but without further ado, I got to present my screen real quick. Hang on a second. Just to show you, just to, make sure we properly pay the bills here. Present. Make sure there's nothing I don't want anybody to see on the screen because, that's happened before. There you go. That's what the Club Deck interface looks like. Anybody that's interested in Club Deck, it's clubdeck.app, clubdeck.app. DM me on Instagram. And, well, before you do that, become a sponsor of the show. You can do it for $5 a month. You can do it for $50 a month. Whatever, $10 a month. You can also drop some awards here by doing something. You guys have a different window here. Hang on a second. Let's duplicate that window. Ooh, me twice. Not a good look. Let's do this. I'll click on the Haps thing. So on the upper left-hand corner, there is a little section there that says Get Coins. If you are on the desktop, if you're on a Mac or an Android or something, I have no clue, but you'll find it. So here we go. Let's talk to Billie because this is going to be fun. I generally talk to a lot of entertainers lately, actors that are also lawyers, and producers that are also serial killers. I mean, it just runs the gamut. So it's really fun to have somebody. First of all, we have somebody from Canada, so well, okay, that happens a lot because Gavin Booth is on here a lot, and he's Canadian, and so I know at least 2 Canadians now. But all right, Billie's been back there laughing, the poor thing, because she thinks you guys can see her, and it would be good manners. So let's bring Billie back. Hey, how are you doing? Oh, where'd she go? There she is.
Here I am.
Hey,
I was laughing. That was a true, honest, real laugh. Even if no one could see me, I was honestly laughing at you. I mean, with you, right?
I love it. Right. I love it. Let's make you number 1, Billie. And
yes.
Let's start out real quick with wow, puppies are going to be a little tougher because that's probably a baby. Oh, I hope you know the answer, Kizzy. That's probably I think it's a baby mastiff myself.
Oh, I'm thinking it's looking kind of puggish.
Ooh, all right. Puggish. Kizzy will let us know in the comments if she wants what it is. So we'll have that up there. All right, Billie, tell us what you do and why on earth would you want to talk to me?
Because I like talking to people.
Cool.
Fun people who love dogs. Now,
I love dogs.
Yeah, there you go. I'm a behaviorist. So I pretend to work with dogs, but I actually work with people.
Yeah,
So I
right.
work
Because
with
the people are the people that need to be trained. Because the dogs, they're just yeah.
Well, the dogs already know it. The dogs technically know. I only work with dogs over 6 months, so I don't do any
Okay,
puppy training or any standard
sure.
puppy training. I do a
Right.
lot of,
You have a specialty. You have a
yeah,
specialty.
yeah.
Right.
So a lot are rescue dogs, adopted dogs. They have a checkered past.
Oh my
I'm a big
gosh.
fan
Wait.
of,
A checkered past. Oh, by the way, say hi to Luke. He's in Windsor. Oh,
oh, cool.
see, Luke, I do know 3 Canadians. Well, I know, I probably know all the Canadians. You guys don't actually have very many people in Canada. So I'm pretty sure I
Yeah, we
probably
all
know
know
all
each
of
other. Luke and I go way back. No, I'm kidding.
them.
No, we're not quite
Like
that.
criminal puppies.
Like
Exactly.
criminal
A
puppy.
checkered past. Oh my gosh. I feel so bad for those dogs.
Yeah, and they get a bad rap too. So my whole goal is to
Mm-hmm.
get people not so scared of the dogs with the bad rap and get them a good rap and get them into homes and have people want to help them out and not kind of gently push them aside and hope somebody else helps. And so I designed a whole formula, way to work with them, a whole methodology, which I did not intend to become a behaviorist, but I
Uh-huh.
did want to figure out how to help these guys. And that 34 years later, I'm still a behaviorist and I use my own method. And that's what I do. It's awesome. It's
That is awesome. I
creative
love
and
it.
fun. And I love my clients because they want to help their dogs. And I work with fosters and rescuers and veterinarians. And yeah, yeah.
No, Luke's gonna get a beagle. You know,
Ah, yeah, I can see it.
speaking of
I can
beagles,
see it.
I oh, you went to high school together in Toronto? There in Toronto. There you go. Speaking of beagles,
We did.
I was very confused because we had friends that had like it was like maybe a wire hair terrier, maybe.
Okay.
If Kizzy can find a picture of a white wire hair terrier, that might confirm it for me. But its name was Snoopy, and Snoopy is a beagle, and
Yes.
so I thought that the wired hair terrier was a beagle, and I was very confused because it didn't have any black spots and all this stuff. But for a long time, I thought wired hair terriers were beagles. So clearly, now I know they're not. They are
Right.
Lhasa Apsos.
Right. There you go. We'll just switch the whole breed and then that makes it right because there's
Right.
logic. Right.
Well, do you find that in this work? Oh, I'm getting somebody's got bad feedback. Hang on one second. Oh, that's coming from me. Interesting.
Interesting.
Hold on. I'm going to mute you one second.
Sure.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh, so are you listening to the show through your speakers on your computer?
Yeah, I can actually plug in. I actually have a microphone and ear
Yeah,
things.
give that a try because I'm just hearing myself through the setup there. And if you get up, go, run to the store, whatever you need. We'll just show puppy pictures. It'll be fine. What is? Oh, hang on. Puppies. Yes, Luke. Puppies. Puppies, puppies, puppies. Take your time, Billy. There is absolutely no hurry, no rush. We've got lots of pictures of puppies and dogs. I mean, not all dogs are puppies, but all puppies are dogs. So there you go. Baskets of puppies. Yes.
You can have fish puppies.
Fish puppies.
Aren't fish? Don't they come in puppies?
I don't know. I've had
I think so.
at Long John Silver, the restaurant, they used to have this like little ball of dough that the word puppy comes to mind. I'm not sure. Somebody remembers. Guppy's a fish. Guppy's a fish.
Oh, guppy, right? Not a puppy.
But a murder of crows. I love that one. what do you call a bunch of crows when they get together? A
A
murder, which
murder.
is, yeah,
Yes.
a
A
murder
murder.
of
Oh,
crows. I mean, that must have what set Poe off, right? He must have been like, whoa, murder of crows. I got to write about those guys. So, all right, let's see if we can hear you. Oh, I got you muted.
oh,
My
can
bad.
you hear me now?
I can, and there's no more feedback. Let me,
There you go.
you just need to adjust your screen, tilt it up a little or something. But again, we're fine. A murder of puppies if they're really badass. Oh, I like that. A badass, in a good way. A badass in a good way. So
A
yeah, so we were
badass murder
talking
of
about
puppies.
dogs with a checkered past, and I mean, I've seen those. My son watches Hush Puppies are neither dogs or fish. Thank you, my wonderful friend that just texted me. That's what they called it at Long John Silver's, Hush Puppies. And there are shoes, though I think there are some people that were confused that their Hush Puppy shoes were made of puppies, which would be horrible, of course. Let's not even
Yeah.
talk about that. Okay,
Yeah.
because China. Okay, so we're going to just have fun with dogs and puppies. And by the way, everybody, I do know that, again, not all dogs are puppies, and no,
All puppies
whatever.
are dogs.
Yeah, but
Yes.
but I may refer to any given dog as a puppy because it's just a cuter
Fine.
name.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And you officially, as a dog professor, can give me permission to call all dogs puppies. So thank you, Billie. Appreciate that. And we want to talk about this whole thing about a checkered past because
Okay.
I think that because I don't want to I don't want to put anybody's, I don't want to make any more bias than there are, but I think it would be interesting to talk about breeds that people automatically think might be mean, and breeds that they might automatically think be sweet, and that it's not always the case. Those could be reversed, right? And I think that's a
Oh,
chow right there between you
it is.
and you, right?
Yes.
And
Between me and the fake me is as a chow. Yeah.
yes, you have,
Yeah.
and these wait, between you and what?
The picture of me and the real me.
Oh,
Yes.
gotcha. Um, I think chows can have a bad rap. I think they get a bad rap too, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I think
why?
so.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a societal standpoint, we could probably understand why. But um, let me ask you a quick question. Did you hook up any of your socials when you logged on?
I
You're like
believe I
your
did. Is
Twitter
there
and
a way that
okay,
you
good.
guys can check that? I couldn't.
Uh,
I think it was Instagram's my big one, and I couldn't find
yes.
the Instagram
Right.
hookup.
Instagram, like, no, they don't play. So
They
you are
don't play. Okay.
multicasting to Facebook and Twitter. Perfect. Excellent. All right, great. Um, yeah, chows. And dogs that get a bad rap right out of the gate. As a professional, expert in dogs, with dogs, are there breeds that you would have to say they actually are more aggressive? Is it always just poor parenting on the people's part?
Well, it's neither actually. Um,
Oh,
I don't think. I mean, there's obviously mean people who do shitty things to dogs, and then that
mhm.
causes them to
To be
be
mean dogs.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's people that are really, really good people and trying to help these dogs, and they just aren't sure what to do, and they're certainly not doing anything wrong. They just don't know
Mhm.
what to do. But no, as far as breeds, no. I mean, I deal with every issue, but aggression and anxiety is a huge one that both of those I deal a ton with, and it's every breed across the board. I half the time I'll start working with people a ton of the time and not even know what the breed is. We just start and go, and I'll figure it out in the first session because I'm standing there looking at the dog. So, but it
Right.
doesn't matter. It's the
Oh,
behavior and the reason for the behavior, not the breed.
right. Yeah. Okay. Very good. All right. Jennifer Yesin. Hold on. I'm going to subscribe to you because, please subscribe to everyone. Everyone. It's a really good way to make connections. I seriously, I'm taking myself off the screen for 1 second because now I have to reach for something, and I'll be right back. Everybody just sit, heal. I'll be right back.
Sit, stay. Everybody sit and stay. Yes. So we have chows. Yeah. And in the top right, those are.
Are those Dobermans?
You got it. I knew you were going to get it.
Oh, I
Yes.
love Dobermans and what was his name? Not James Bond. Magnum PI.
Did he have one? Oh.
His John Hillerman, the character that's the actor that ran the estate for Robin Masters, the writer whose estate it was. He had 2 Doberman. Ooh, somebody tell me the Doberman's name. Oh man, they had good names. Something like, like Zeus and Apollo probably or something. But
yeah, that's pretty common.
And King, you never know.
Oh, maybe.
Zeus and Apollo, those do seem pretty good, but they were like very scary, but insanely well trained. I mean, and they loved their master, in the show anyway, and probably really loved their handlers, that were there. And they were working professional dogs, probably with SAG-AFTRA credits and, everything. So, they were probably the 2 most popular dogs on television at that time, I would imagine, unless Lassie was doing the talk show circuit. So,
and then we had Fraser. We had Fraser's dog come along at some point.
Oh yeah, right.
Eddie.
He's
not right. Fraser's dog. I guess it's his dad's dog, but the dog on Fraser. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes. Oh man.
He's a Jack Russell.
Yeah, a Jack Russell. I love Jess Ruckles. And Zeus and Apollo are Higgins. You got it. Wow, yes. Luke, thank you. I guessed it right. And he would have those dogs run that poor Tom Selleck around, everywhere, sneaking in and out. But we'll talk a little bit more about the dogs with issues. But I mean, dogs can be a lot of things. And in some cultures, they are very much working dogs, and they're kind of tools like a tractor or, anything else. They're not even invited in the house in some places. Their job is security or, like a junkyard dog kind of thing. So, what got you into this whole thing? You said you didn't, intend to set out a whole philosophy and theory and everything about dogs, but what got you into this?
Well, I guess, it was pretty unintentional and definitely an unconventional way of ending up where I am. But so I was on the west coast of Canada hanging out, doing not a lot of anything in particular, but I started to foster dogs. And then I hopped in a renovated bus with my boyfriend and we tripped around. We went down to Texas where he was from. And we started to pick up dogs on the way. They were just dumped. And then, long story short, I ended up with an unintentional dog rescue in North Carolina. And then I came back up to Toronto and he went back to Texas. And I was from Toronto, so I went back there. And I just started to work with dogs and had a daycare and boarding and took in rescue dogs. And I just noticed that the dogs over 6 months of age, people were challenged. They were trying to figure out what to do, and they were nervous to take them on, nervous to adopt them, and they were getting surrendered and euthanized. And I just wanted to figure out why. I just like the puppy methods were great for puppies, and standard positive reinforcement training was great for puppies, but these dogs that had these preconceived ideas and thought patterns. So I use cognitive behavioral therapy, but I didn't really realize it at the time.
My therapists, both of them, use that on me all the time. It's not nearly as, it doesn't hurt or anything.
Yeah, no, it's not. There's nothing negative. It's so creative. It's fun. It's awesome. And you're right. It doesn't hurt. And they use it on people all the time. I just figured out how to use it on dogs.
That's awesome.
I didn't intend to. I actually figured it out first. And then I talked to psychologists and they said, this is what you're doing. And I was like, oh, really? And then I looked
and that's good because you could have been, telling your psychologist that you talk to dogs and they'd be like, well, yeah, you should definitely come in on Wednesday at 10 a.m. and you're like, no. I'm professionally talk to dogs. Well, I mean, if you're getting paid for it, we still need to talk about the fact that you're talking to dogs. And as long as they're not talking back, do they talk back? Do you get good feedback from them?
Yeah, you can learn to read dogs. That's a whole conversation. There's people actually that do talk to dogs professionally. Sorry, I'm fiddling with my camera here. Um,
I like that.
but
I like that.
yeah, you figure it out. Like I just took a long time and worked with tons of rescue dogs, a lot from junkyards, speaking of, because you were talking
Hmm.
about those, but ones that were used for all sorts of things and for fighting and just living in shitty conditions. And
Right.
yes, you do, but I had to put it into a formula that I could
Sure.
teach people. Like I can't just say to people, "Oh, talk
So
to your
then they don't
dog."
have to, like, you don't have to go home with them every evening for the, forever. You can teach the people
Yeah,
um to
totally.
how to how would you even, like, you're teaching the people to be able to what relate to the dog, have a better understanding of the dog. I would think, there's got to be some kind of symbiosis between the two, that maybe they're not connecting at that level or something.
Yeah. Well, they contact me usually because they have a problem. So there's a
Hmm.
specific problem. They don't just no one ever hires me when their dog is good. So
Right. It's like a
yeah,
criminal lawyer.
yeah, yeah. So the method that they're using is just not suited to the dog, and that's what's in the dog world now. That's what's conventional and just
Mm,
mainstream dog training. And a lot of dogs don't take to it. Just like people, you have to have different ways of working with them and different ways to relate. So I use, like I said, cognitive behavioral therapy. So I just teach them how to do that with their dog, and then the light bulb goes on and they're like, right, I get it. And then in a nutshell, that's what I do. So it is a formula I follow, but it's more so teaching them why what they're doing isn't working. It's not their fault. It's not their dog's fault. You just need to change the method. Like kids, you could have two kids in the same family, but you parent them differently because they're different.
yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah, exactly. And I could definitely, I would think a good dog trainer might have helped me with my kids
Yeah.
better than I did. So,
Yeah.
hey, move
I have
over a
lots.
little to your right, I think, because I changed the screen. There you go. So we get you in the center. Fantastic.
There we go.
The all right. So, because I like to popcorn around when I interview, and just kind of
Sure.
bounce around, like, what is I, like, is this must be just tremendously rewarding to work with dogs and to see them grow with their families. And like, I
Yeah.
mean, bad Leroy Brown, he was badder than, like a junkyard dog, or meaner than a junkyard dog. So
Great team.
like, how do you relate? Obviously we don't want to talk about specific cases, but is it I guess everybody has a good intent, when they want to bring their dog there. But, like, if you ever notice, like, the dog, maybe let's say it's a couple, and the dog. Have you ever noticed, like, the dog is great with the mom, but the dog is kind of like misbehaves? Like, do they,
Yep.
and so,
Totally.
right. And so when you're thinking about that, when you're wanting to do this, it's kind of obvious that the one person, sorry, now I'm thinking of all kinds of funny things. But the person that's having the problem, do you, like, pull them aside, or do you just kind of train the whole family, or do you, like, you can go in the truck, sir, and you, ma'am, might think about leaving him, because clearly the dog, is, and you are much more compatible than you and that guy. But I mean, it's got to be
Yeah.
delicate kind of sometimes, right? To, hey,
Depends
revolution,
on the client.
yeah, you've got to really, shape up, because these dogs are running your life, and you've got to learn to be able to, at least have some.
Nah, nah. Well, usually the dogs, I would never say dogs are running people's lives. They just need to. Yeah, that's really generic statement, which is it's people are people, right? So
Mhm.
when
But
you
yeah,
deal
but
with a couple hundred clients a year for 3
mhm,
decades, sometimes I have more fun with them, and I would joke around and say, yeah, like your dog's just the guy at the party with the lampshade on his head, so we just got to get some calm manageability. And other times that would not be, and
right.
sometimes, a lot of times, the women is doing the work, and then the man kind of hops on board once he kind of sees the dog get trained. Then he's like, oh. this is kind of interesting. Maybe I'll hop on board. Nothing really, people are going to do what they're going to do. So I just provide the advice and have a, but
Well,
yeah,
yeah. Well, I guess the reason I was putting it in those terms is because who are you? Are we even, is training even the right word? But we've kind of touched on this already. But I mean, you're really, like you said, you're really training the people, right? You said the dogs
yeah,
know what to do.
yeah.
How do they know what to do? Is it because they're social? What?
Because the method that I use takes what they already know. So um, we build skills, but we build it based off what the dog already knows. So it really takes very little time for the dog to clue into it
Hmm.
because when you're using cognitive behavioral therapy, the subject's already thinking cognitively. That's why they're making those decisions. They're using the cognitive part of their brain to make decisions. So once you harness that, they go, oh, right. And their brain clicks in and they correlate to you. So I just have to teach people how to do it.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah. So often I'll say to them, it's like you're just learning how to relate to your dog in a different way. But I do have to give specific advice. It's not just kind of airy, like, oh, you need to relax on the leash, or like that's pretty hard to tell people to do when their dog's having a complete meltdown and losing its shit on the end of a leash. You can't just say, oh,
Yeah.
you have to relax. You do have to build skills, and there is a process that we go through. But for the
Or
most
in
part,
America, we say process, but yeah, I get you.
oh, okay, yeah,
Sorry,
process,
it's the Canadian.
process.
I was just having fun.
I don't
I mean,
know.
you have round bacon that looks like ham, which they call Canadian bacon. But then,
Yeah,
you guys just
that's
call
right.
that ham. I think I'm not sure.
Camille bacon, is that Camille bacon? I'm not sure. I
Oh,
know
it
what
is. I
I
think
don't
so.
eat
Yes,
bacon.
it's got a different name too. Yes, yes, I agree. Luke will know. I would
Luke
lay
will know.
I would lay beside my chair dog. Oh, pea meal bacon. Boom. Look at that,
Camille,
Luke. You got it. Oh, yeah, we should talk about
no, I'm
dog
choking.
health too. You okay?
Yeah,
Um, all right. So let's I'm so Canadian.
who's dog
Yes.
bottom right?
Totally. Like you got your toque, dude. Take off, you hoser. And a quick question for you, Luke. If it's
Oh,
Canada and you're called Canadians, wouldn't it be more properly Canada than Canada? I would think. But that's for you,
Canadiana,
Luke. Canadiana.
Canadiana.
There you go. So dog behavior, people behavior, doing this for so long, what is like the most fun, rewarding experience you've kind of seen? You've probably had lots of them, so you can pick whichever one you want. But between a family and the dog, like the progress that's been made, you can do an amalgam or whatever. But I mean, it's got to be really rewarding, right?
Yeah, because people, when they contact me, they're commonly at their wits' ends. They've tried
Mm,
wits' ends.
yes.
They've tried everything. They've had trainers. They've tried stuff, and they're they're certain they're going to have to youth or surrender, and then they don't. So it's just
Oh Lord,
amazing to
yeah,
see. I love it when I see that light bulb go on. They're just like, oh my god, I'm getting this. I'm totally getting it, and it's just a totally different. Wait, well, that one in the bottom right there, that the white dog that I'm sitting with in the bottom, is
yeah.
it bottom right for you guys? Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's a that's a dog that a client has. He came up from the Korean meat market. He was a Korean meat market save.
Wait. They were going to eat him.
Yeah, yeah. And then she also adopted one of my Mexi rescues, which is the little one I was holding in my arms. That
Mm-hmm.
was up a bit ago. That was one that I brought up from Mexico. And so she adopted that dog, and then she has another one that's a Korean meat market rescue. So they're called sapsuris. The other one, the bigger white one, is called a sapsuri.
That's the kind of dog. That's like the breed.
Yeah, yeah, and they
Oh
they get eaten in Korea all the time. So he was really nervous and skitterish when he came up, and now you can see he's just happy. And I'm
yeah.
hanging
I
out there
mean,
in a busy park with him, and he's being a happy boy.
oh,
Yeah,
that's so cute.
yeah.
Well, how do you
So that's rewarding.
get your hands on those dogs?
Oh, there's rescues in all
And
countries, and
yeah,
we
well,
just
because I
work
know
together to get them to Canada.
we have obviously, well, you see people around with greyhounds, of course, that come because we have tracks in Wisconsin, or I think they
Yeah,
probably still do, but so you can clearly find a family with a greyhound because they'll have a thin line of dirt in a giant circle around their yard. I'm not kidding. We had a
totally,
neighbor when I
totally.
lived when I like their fence was basically, like this dog would run around the backyard,
Yeah,
and it would take every inch of the yard. So it would be zooming, within a hair's breadth of the fence at like 35 miles an hour,
yeah. Oh, at
and
least. Yeah.
in one direction. And yeah, that, which is very sad in that they're been trained to do that, but a beautiful, beautiful dog. Well, I don't want to
I
get.
work a lot with the galgos. Do you know the galgos? They're from Spain and they look like a greyhound. They look a lot like a greyhound.
Oh,
Kizzy,
galgos.
Kizzy, Kizzy, can you throw up a galgo? I have one somewhere.
If you
I
have
have
one too,
lots of galgos.
my God, how many? I mean, now you've named two dog breeds that I've never even heard of.
Yeah, I've worked
And
with
I'm
dogs
not,
from the streets of Thailand and they're Peru, all over the world. People get dogs from everywhere. They
yeah,
just they're uncertain as to how to integrate them, so they hire me, and it's awesome. It works really well.
yeah.
There's one in Toronto right now that is from I think from Thailand actually. That is a client. But the galgos are awesome. They are from Spain and they're used to hunt rabbits. That's what their job
Okay.
is. And if they aren't the fastest rabbit hunter, they hang them from the trees. So the
What?
rescues, yeah, they what it's what's called the piano dance. So they hang if they did a really shitty job, then they hang them just off the ground so that they try. And if they are a really good dog but not good enough to keep, then they hang them higher up or they
Okay.
drag them
This.
behind trucks. So
Oh,
sorry, not to
yeah.
get into
Okay.
this, but
No, no,
they
no.
then they
That's
come to
okay. No, no,
Canada.
no.
And
Yeah.
so
No,
we
no.
bring them to Canada or to the States. There's rescue organizations, great ones in Canada. They're on my podcast, actually. I interview lots of different rescue organizations all over the world.
There's
Was that a
one.
galgo?
Is that one,
Let
Kizzy?
me. Yeah, that's a galgo.
Aw.
A
What is?
galgo standing still. Wow, that's amazing.
Is there? Isn't there's a dog too that's smaller? It's like a whippet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also in Spain. They have ones called pedencos that have like really big, huge ears.
Mm. So
They're
wait a minute.
smaller.
In Spain, they do some kind of racing, and of course, we know people have dog fights and everything. And like I said, I
Yeah.
don't want to be depressed, and I want to talk about because wow, time has been flying here. I want to talk about you and the larger still part of your work, but I didn't
No, we
even
don't have to.
think about um I didn't even think about Korea eating dog, because I've focused so much on China because you at least get. I've heard, I've kind of see that a little more on the internet. But I want to ask you this because in the defense of, or in given equal time to the Chinese and the Koreans, to them they're not any eating anything different than you guys eat horse up there. We don't eat horse down here. So you know,
We do?
I
I don't think we do.
Luke, you do, right?
No.
Yeah,
No, we
well,
ship our horses out and we know
ooh,
they're going to be eaten, which is really shitty thing to do.
that might be it. Yeah,
But
that's
we
it.
don't
Uh,
eat them here.
That makes
But we
sense. So
send them to I think it's Korea that we send them to,
the
and then they
horse meat,
eat them there. No, the
right?
live
So
horses, I think. Or maybe
ugh.
I guess where would that go?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not good
they have,
though.
I can't eat a horse. I think they butcher and slaughter horses in the U.S. and export the meat. I would not be surprised
Yeah.
because the glue factory, you're going to send the horse to the glue factory. That's all around that too. The but quickly, I'm a little torn culturally because in our culture, dogs are tend to be prized and are pets. But I ultimately don't know from a every I think
I know
I'm
where
not a
you're going with
vegetarian. I've
this.
been a vegetarian, and and I'll be a vegetarian again. But I don't think anybody should ever need to eat meat on any circumstance. It's, we can produce enough food and enough protein and enough iron. Eating meat is silly. It's from our past, but that's me. But I mean, if the Koreans, want to eat dog, I mean, I think they should be allowed to probably eat dog, and we can still
Right,
rescue
but
them. Don't get me wrong.
the difference is how they're killed. For me,
Mm.
it's how and why they're killed and treated.
Ah. Uh-huh.
Not the ethics of eating meat or not eating meat. That's kind of a different topic, but for me, it's how does an animal suffer when they die? So if you're going to hang a dog from a tree, it's probably suffering. If
Yes.
you well, not probably, it is. So in Korea, for when they're eating the meat, they have a tradition that the more the dog suffers, the better the meat is, and it's an aphrodisiac. And I'm probably not really qualified to talk on it too much, but
Exactly. But
they
yeah.
they burn it, and the more, so it's more the way that it's killed,
Mm.
which is also in Canada too. I mean, we have things with, how farms are killing their animals.
Right. Right.
So that's
100%.
that's
Well,
more, I think, the thing that people have an issue with, because tradition and laws and animal rights, right? You've got
right.
tradition that says, "Oh, we're allowed to do that." It's like, well, when tradition kind of crosses that line, maybe you want to reconsider your tradition, right? But
Yeah, I definitely think so. And how do you feel we alter global perceptions on how animals are treated? That says Jennifer. Yes. After we alter global perceptions on how do you feel we how do you feel we alter global perceptions on how animals are treated?
how we
And
should
you're
do that?
Yeah, I think what you're saying is how we're trying to change perceptions around the world. How do you feel we alter global perceptions? Well, I guess, Jennifer, are you saying that we do? I think we do. I mean, America, for better or worse, intentionally or not, we do export our values pretty strongly out into the world because, we're the most powerful nation on earth. And um, I really do think that, again, aside from the ethics of eating meat, um, you don't eat your friends, and dogs are our friends. Over 100,000 years, dogs have evolved to have certain characteristics. And I believe, and this, nobody hold me to this, but I believe dogs have a higher body temperature. And the theory around it is that we would be, over time, dogs with a higher body temperature, humans, you know, kept them around. And so they keep us warm and everything. So, yeah, dogs are, they're our friends, and you don't eat your
Yeah,
friends. Okay, so let's get off of
yeah,
this. But this was very informative, and I don't have an issue of being on it, but I do want to talk happy dog thoughts and
yeah.
uh, how can we change our perceptions globally so we can end suffering? Ooh, well, there you go. Well, here's what we'll do, Jennifer. We will, since we're following you, I definitely want to, we should have maybe a chat about that on the show or something, because that's really good. Um, and I would say, um, yeah, that'd take a whole
Well,
hour probably.
yeah, but I think that's my, well, I know that that is my whole mission
Mm,
from when I first started, is change people's perception, and then they're
okay.
going to change their behavior. And technically, that's cognitive behavioral therapy. It changes perception to change behavior. So technically, I'm doing it on the dogs, but I'm also doing it to save dogs. So if people realize, hey, just because these dogs are from a different country, or just because they have a checkered past, or just because they came up to Canada
Mhm.
right out of the meat market or something like that, doesn't mean they can't be integrated in a great family pet. So changing
Sure.
perception is like the number one thing that changes people's behavior, changes dogs' behavior. That's why I love cognitive behavioral therapy so much. It just changes. You let people, you provide dogs and you provide people with skills and the ability to make their own decisions and to change their own mind instead of pressuring it on them.
Mhm.
And that's how I work with dogs. So
Well,
changing
that's a
perception
beautiful
is
thing.
huge. It's huge, right? Because you don't
Right.
I don't think anyone with a checkered past deserves to be treated. They are who they are, and they think what they think, and it's our responsibility to learn what they think, and that's the same with dogs, right? Like, if you heard somebody had a something happen, it's just they're their own person, and they think the way they think.
I agree. That is that's pretty powerful because you're doing work in both directions, is the on the family individuals and the people in larger way. You said you have a podcast. What do
I
you do
do.
on your podcast?
It's called Dog Training Disrupted by Upward Dogology, and I talk about cognitive behavioral therapy and how it should be part of mainstream dog training, how it's different from the normal ones. Oh, look at the puppy. That's a great shot. And how it's
Yeah.
different from normal, so people can learn about it. I don't offer specific training. And then I interview awesome people who have done amazing things with dogs. You like pilots to the rescue who save dogs, and furry hobos and highway heroes. They drive. They're truckers that get dogs from where they are to their new homes. Um, Different rescue organizations. There's a woman who actually one of my guests is an 11-year-old boy who makes like little toys, and he sells them, and he's raised over $10,000 for dogs. I have cool guests anyway.
Yeah.
And then I talk about dog science, dog cognition, which is really hot and trendy right now, canine enrichment and dog cognition, which I use the cognitive side of the brain to rehab, but they're using the cognitive side of the brain for games and things like that, which is fun and good and stimulating. So it's all good stuff. And I just
Hmm.
talk about how they're different, and just so people can change their mindset on maybe if they're trying a technique and it's not working, it's not their fault, it's not their trainer's fault, it's not the dog's fault, that's for sure. So they
Right.
can kind of go, "Oh, right, there's other ways I should be working with my dog." It's just kind of, I
Y-
don't know, it's sort of an interesting, weird podcast. It just kind of has lots of just different, like, I'll take specific scientific studies and then put
mhm.
it just into everyday real life. Like, this is why your dog is doing this. Science just proved what you already know because you see your dog do it every day in your home, but this is why.
Right. Well, you mentioned that you don't do specific training with dogs. Is that what you said?
On the podcast, I don't,
Oh, you don't talk about
yeah,
techniques or trading. Kizzy
yeah.
says, "How do you feel about using treats to get the dogs to do what you want?" There we go. There we go. Is that good to bribe your dog?
It's not bribing. It depends. That's the dog's perception. If the dog feels bribed, then they're being bribed. If they feel like they're being rewarded,
Hey,
then they're being
you, come
rewarded.
here. Come here. Do you
Yeah,
feel like you're being bribed?
yeah,
Oh, for
exactly.
sure, huh? Okay, gotcha.
So operant conditioning is the normal way, positive reinforcement training, and it works a lot. It works really well with puppies. It teaches expected behavior, and it works all the time. But then there's a lot of dogs it doesn't work with. So
Mm,
I don't use treats, and I shouldn't say I don't use rewards. I do. It's just the rewards are teaching the skills, and it's the skills that I use, not the reward. But the reward teaches the skills. So treats are just one reward, but an operant conditioning trainer or a positive reinforcement trainer has to be able to say what reward they use, just because that's how it works. That's how positive reinforcement training works. It's not what I do, so I'm not opposed to people giving treats. It depends on if it works.
sure.
That's all. You need to find
Right.
the method that works with the dog.
That makes total sense. That makes total
Yeah.
sense. And what is the I gotta put this let me I gotta download this video. Hang on. What is the um
So, like Luke just put, it works on me. So that's such a good point, because it's kind of like, if a guy buys me a beer in a bar, is it bribery, or is it actually going to work, or is it a reward, or it's kind of the same thing, right? It sometimes does work and it sometimes doesn't.
right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I I've had two dogs in my life, and I'm a pure science evidence based human being, 100%. But that said, both of my dogs were the same dog. They um, My first dog obviously um, passed away many years before my second dog was born. But apparently, I don't know, maybe she was bouncing around in, other dogs' bodies in a karmic way. But eventually, my dog came back to me, and it was the dog. Why is this doing this to me? It's the dog that my parents got. The first dog I had, my parents got to me because Dr. Spock, um, not the Star Trek Dr. Spock, but a different Dr. Spock. Basically, oh, why is that not going off the screen? There we go. It still should be gone. Anyway, basically told parents, "Oh, you're having another kid? Yeah, get a dog, and then the older kid won't, like hate you for ruining their life by, you know, never paying attention to them again. So get them a puppy." I think that was kind of the strategy. So my parents got me a dog. It was a boxer. She was awesome. My
Cool.
parents weren't, very good at disciplining me. So you can imagine Daisy, she was rambunctious. She was sweet. I mean, I'm sure she could bite somebody, but I mean, she never ever was, mean to anybody. But yeah, so look at that dog.
That dog's
Freaking so
hilarious.
that is gorgeous. I love that. So anyway, that dog, I think your mic is crackling, Rev. Too much gain, maybe. Could be. Thank you, Luke. I'll listen to the replay, and see if I need to make any adjustments. I appreciate it. But anyway, so being silly here, Daisy was a boxer, and then Asta was a Labrador, a black lab, and she was actually a there are two types of labs. There are the field lab and the with the sleek look and the more shiny coat, and their coat's a little softer, and they're
And
little higher in the withers. There is a different looking dog. Than there's a field lab, and then there's what do they call the other one? They've got more of a stocky blocky. They have like a block head, and their
yeah,
coat is a little different, that kind of thing. Anyway, we had a field lab. That dog loved to, retrieve. In fact, I had in one of my offices when she was alive, many years ago, there was a pretty good, probably about a 20-foot straight shot from my office to the kitchen, through like a long hallway. And I could just sit there and just throw the ball. She'd bring it back. I could do it for all day.
ever.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, do you want to mix it up? Maybe you throw it? Never. I would just throw it all day. And but those dogs, I realized, when I tell this fun story, that just how much truth is in that they were the same dog, because I raised them both, and they had crazy similar personalities. And the personalities that they had were, I'm sure, in part, given to them by their dad, me. And so it was really funny, because both of those dogs, they really did seem to be so similar. And that's why I'm kind of swinging back to the personality of people, and what their dogs become. So your
Yeah,
cases, though, go ahead. Well, your cases, though, the dog may be already in trouble before they even get to the new home, right? Because of other circumstances.
a lot of times. So I'll
Yeah.
have clients who do have their dog from puppyhood, and they got it from a reputable breeder, and they could have had 4 or 5 dogs from the same breeder. They've always used operant conditioning or positive, and it worked, and it was fine. And then this one dog comes, and it's like, what the hell is this? It's just a totally different, and nothing's working. And I have veterinarians for clients. So I have
Mm.
super
hmm
experienced dog, it's just that one dog is just what they're doing isn't working. So yeah, it's just like kids in a family. They can just be just, and it happens all the time. Like it
Hmm.
shouldn't be considered weird. It should be just considered normal. So
But
that's my mission.
you consider it, you know, which, just like you said, it's just another behavior the dogs
Yeah.
can have, and we can work on it.
Yeah.
Um,
That
what
middle,
is?
I wanted to, sorry, the
Yeah, go
one
ahead.
picture of the dog laying down with the food bowl, that's who I'm patting right now. But
Oh,
that
hold
was
on a
her.
second.
I got her from the streets of Costa Rica. Well, from the beach, actually. I was down there volunteering for a rescue org, and now
Is that
she's,
is that picture on our
I don't know,
available?
Kizzy. Kizzy had it
Did
up there
I
for a
might
little
have
bit.
I might have deleted it just because I
Okay,
needed space,
no
because you
problem.
might be able to find it. So, I think you're. Oh, that's the crackling mic. Um, yeah. What do you want to make sure that everybody knows? Just I mean, if you want them to know, to buy gold versus silver, that's fine, but probably more related to dogs. What would you like everybody to know? And then with the folks that are, in Canada, or willing to drive and stay in a bed and breakfast or an Airbnb for a while.
No, I Zoom. I have clients all over the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I do.
Oh,
I
I
do
like
Zooms.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
They
then
can go to,
anybody anywhere in the world can be your client.
yeah,
Oh, this is
yeah.
great.
I train on Zoom all the time. I have lots of clients in the States. Yeah,
I mean, but how do the
yeah.
dogs like use the mouse?
Well, that's a whole different trick, because then you got to teach them to use a mouse without eating a mouse, and they have to know the difference between a mouse and a mouse.
And a mouse
So
and a
yeah,
mouse,
lots of,
right?
yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, I tons of times I don't even. Well, I
I
mean,
think
we
I'm gonna.
exchange videos back and forth, and we exchange.
Mhm.
We have
Oh, you
lots of Zoom
watch the
sessions and
dog's
videos.
behavior, obviously.
I watch the people's behavior and tell them what they're doing wrong.
Oh, how's that go
Yeah.
over?
It's great. I love my clients. They're awesome. Yeah, no,
I
it
think I'm
totally
gonna
works.
keep. I think I'm gonna keep bringing back this free kisses dog once in a while, because I'm totally
I
falling in
know,
love with
it's
it.
so cute.
Look at
It's
those
about the
ears.
ears. I know.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
look like, the pot cake dogs. Have you seen the pot cake dogs? They're on in the
uh-uh.
Bahamas, I think, and they have, like, the big
Hotcake
ears
dog.
that, yeah, they get the name
I'm looking
pot
this
cake
up.
dogs because, they used to the restaurants would make these big pots of food,
Oh, they're cute.
traditional food. Yeah, they're
Uh-huh.
adorable, and then they would throw out the top layer of the food to the alleys, and that's what the dogs would eat. So it
Mhm.
was called pot cakes. So they were called pot cake dogs, and they're just the
Oh,
cutest thing. They have the biggest ears, and there's great rescues in, I think it's Bahamas where they are.
I'm trying to find one
Barbados?
with.
Maybe it's Barbados.
Let's
Um,
see. Well, this dog's ears aren't particular big. Oh wait, this one is, but I still have to show this dog because it's so darn cute.
and the Mexican
Um,
street dogs. The pot cake, do you have a pot cake there?
yeah, uh, I'm looking, but is it
Oh,
um,
Turks and Caicos. Yes, person, you're right. There,
Turks and
Jennifer. Oh, hey,
Caicos?
Jennifer.
Very good. All right, let
Yes.
me Google it that way. I've always wanted to go to the Turks and Caicos. Let's see.
Yeah, that's right. And one of
So
my clients brought me back a bumper sticker from there, and it says, "I love my pot cake." But until that was legal here, I wasn't sure if that was a good thing to put on my vehicle.
pot. What do we call them? Pot
Pot cakes.
hot cakes. Hot cake
Yeah, stuck.
dog.
That's right. Stuck to the pot. Nicely done, Jennifer.
What
The
is
local,
the?
yeah.
I know we shouldn't talk. We won't obviously talk about specific clients, but you know, um, how's the queen? Do you think she's pretty good with her dogs? Have you ever seen her with her dogs?
She's not my client.
Oh,
Um,
well, okay,
the
yeah.
queen, if she were, that would be a good way to get out what I do, because I have to spread
Wouldn't it
awareness on
though?
what I do. So, see, I want to work with Biden's dog because he's aggressive, and I know that the way that trainer is working with him isn't going to work with that dog.
Ooh, all right.
I would
Okay.
love to
Well,
get
that
anyone who has a contact with anyone, or you guys have so many celebrities who do so many great things for dogs. So I see if my method was mainstream, so
mhm.
many dogs wouldn't be on the youth table or um, surrendered because it would just be mainstream. It would be people would know how to go from one method to the other and they'd find the
Mhm.
one and it would save tons of dogs' lives. So, yeah, if I could work with the Queen's dogs or Biden's dogs, although the
Well,
Queen's dogs I think are well trained.
yeah, and
I think they're very well trained.
she's got the like the little dog that like you can confuse as a handbag, and then because she carries it
Yeah,
around all the time,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then she has her, like they have their hunting dogs or whatever,
yeah.
up in Scotland, and oh, how about
There's
this?
your pot cake. That's awesome.
Yes,
Thanks,
we should
Kizzy.
do
Yeah.
some trivia too about yeah, let's see if we can come up with some quick dog trivia for fun because I have always heard, well, I've heard that dogs can be trained to, the Germans trained German shepherds to eat their own feces so that they wouldn't, leave it behind. Soldiers don't leave their feces behind. And they would train German shepherds to eat their feces. But then I've also heard that German shepherds just like to eat their poop. So have you ever heard anything about German shepherds specifically and eating their poop?
No, not that's not a breed specific, but I'm huge on as soon as I say a breed acts a certain way, guaranteed the next day,
Hmm.
there'll be a different breed that does the exact same thing, or there'll
Yeah, I
be
would
that breed
imagine.
won't do that at all, right? So I think a lot of the stuff you hear it's specific to a breed. It's just dogs, and it's just that dog. Look at that cute dog. That's
Yeah, that's
adorable.
another,
Um,
you know, well,
but
it's a
I
good
think
thing they're not
Germans,
called
yeah, I don't know.
potluck dogs. That's
Yeah,
that's totally different. That's a
I don't
pot cake
know.
dog. Um,
Yeah.
well, wow. Yeah. So
But
let's,
that's funny that they eat too. That's funny. Huh, okay.
yeah, it's not Germans in general.
No.
Well, Luke, I mean, Germans don't have a word for weird because Germans clearly are weird. Why would they need a word for weird? Because they are. So, not that I don't love Germans, because I do. I do. I've got some German friends, and they're great people. I mean, they're kind of into like, weird things like
Eating
lederhosen
poop?
and, eating poo. Yeah, but I mean,
Having
the
bad breath?
Australians eat Vegemite, so it's not that much different. And but yeah, what is like? Give us some. Obviously not doesn't because we don't have a case, right? But I mean, I don't know. Give us some kind of words of wisdom or something. Like what we should look for, or I don't know. But you know a lot. Give us some dog words
I
of
do.
wisdom.
I do know a lot. I spent way too much time around I shouldn't say I spent too much time around dogs. There's never too much time.
No, not possible.
I think that if you if you want to adopt a dog or get a dog or help a dog, or you don't even have to take in a dog to help. There's so many ways you can help
Oh,
animals
that's yeah.
without it. There's just so many different ways. You don't have to adopt or foster. You can there's just if you're going to a country, I guess once COVID is done. But I mean, I was volunteering. I was heading the second unit at a spay and neuter clinic in Mexico. And there were people that came on their honeymoon, and they would sit on the floor with these dogs as they're coming out of anesthetic for like 8 hours. And they'd sit on the floor and pat dog, and they're on their honeymoon. Like, it was so cool, like all the stuff and the people that you meet. And there's just so many people doing really cool things. So just reach out. And if you do want to adopt a dog, don't think you can't do it, because you can.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, just be open-minded.
I love that. Yeah, be open minded. Be able to help a dog doesn't necessarily mean you have to adopt it. And there's lots of organizations, and whatever those organizations are that are out there that, and put your contact information, where we were chatting. If you
Mm.
unclick the little padlock, that will actually send it out to the audience so somebody can type in your like website address. Just make sure you use HTTPS, which it probably already is, but use the full address, and then you'll have to wait for it to load for a
What?
minute. And if you can't get it to do it, I should be able to. But I want to see this laughing dog. I got to try to download it. Hang on a second.
Sorry, I just
This
did
is kind of
something.
an internet famous little laughing dog here.
Oh, way to go, Jennifer.
Oh wow, I love that.
Oh, transport. That's another thing. Transport. If you go, way to go, Jennifer. So, yeah, transport. If you're going down to a country, there will be, Billie's going to be a. I doubt that. That's a long shot, but thank you. So yeah, if you can take crates down, because a lot of the rescue organizations send up dogs in crates, and they need to get those crates back down there, whether you're going to anywhere in Central America, South America, and if you
that's
can just
interesting.
take crates down, it would be awesome. And a lot of the airlines, if you tell them that it's going down to a rescue organization, they will do it for free. Obviously, I can't speak for the airlines, but a lot of them will if you have confirmation from the rescue that that's why you're taking all the crates down. And then if you can transport dogs back up, it's all done. The rescue organizations, I've brought up dogs from dogs come in from so many countries, and all the paperwork is done. Woo!
Oh, I didn't know there was going to be sound, but okay, this is dramatic.
What is this?
It's just some TV show with a cute dog smiling. I've seen this before. It's been on YouTube. It's probably quite old, actually, but I remembered it, and I Googled laughing dog, and that's what we got. So what a sweetheart. I don't know how to turn the audio off to leave that on. So here we go. There we go. But yeah, little smiling dog there. Yes. Also,
I don't
the
think
rescues.
he's smiling. I think he's pissed off because he's chained up.
Uh-oh. You do?
Yeah.
But he's wagging his tail, though.
Because he wants off the chain and someone's walking towards him. So he's getting. I just poo-pooed. I am like the buzzkill, man. I'm totally the buzzkill. He's hoping that the person comes near.
Oh, so it's kind of like, you come over here.
It's like, yeah, you're coming, because you can see the person walking in the video, right? They're walking a little bit towards, and he's happy that they're coming. That's a weird face on a dog, though. But yeah, I don't know. But that's me. I'm just assuming it's poo-pooey. See that he's waving his tail because the guy's coming over.
Okay, let's see. Yes, also the rescues, there have the crates and bags that we said. Billie is going to be a HAPS Pro. Actually, we'll talk about that before the night is through. I did that on my honeymoon, too. I actually volunteered and brought a dog back to bring her to her adopters. They always need transport.
Cool. That's what we need. Yeah.
That's awesome,
so cool.
Jennifer.
And it's so rewarding. And yeah, Jen's great. So yeah, she's a huge dog lover. So that's great. And when you bring the dog off the plane, there'll be somebody, either the adopter or a rescue organization, someone from there ready to pick it up, to take the dog from you. Like, it's really easy. So many of my clients have brought me dogs from, like, so I'll organize it with a rescue organization in the country or city that they're going to, and they'll get all the paperwork and pay for everything. It's all done. All you got to do is just meet them, get the dog, it gets on the plane. It's so rewarding. It's so great. And then I meet them at the airport here and take the dog. It's awesome.
Wow, Kizzy. Doctor Who, of course, K9 was a robot. Is still a robot because, robots don't die. I'm thinking of other famous dogs. Can what?
Can a robot kill a robot? I guess not.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess they could. I mean, just Billy, so you know, robots aren't actually alive. Just so
Oh,
you know. Gotcha. So you
I
can't
think
kill them.
everything's alive. I
the
think my chair is alive.
let's do that for a second. Lassie, um, Canine, other famous dogs. Well, you know, Zeus and Apollo,
Yeah.
and who else can you think of? Famous like dogs.
Oh,
Uh,
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby
Scooby-Doo's the
Doo.
best,
Yeah,
man.
Ooh, wait. I'm channeling Scooby. Wait. Scooby's not. No, he'll come to me in a minute. Anyway,
Eh,
Scooby Doo Doo. There we go.
there you go.
The yeah, dogs are just they're woven into our lives. You know,
Yeah,
they're just a part of who we are. Oh, Luke, wetware. Yes, aren't we all just wet robots? We are, buddy. Wetware,
there
right
you
up
go.
there. Um, yeah, they're just kind of uh, to me. There is no. I mean, there's no other animal that even comes close to um, cats. I love cats. We've had cats. Cats are great. But rough topic tonight. Thank you, John. Um, and cats are
Clever.
great. And I definitely my two cats that we had thought they were dogs. Well, no, one of the cats, the one with the bunch of toes, he was a tabby. He must have because they were both rescues. He must have
Good for you.
been like raised like with puppies because I mean he couldn't meow. He kind of had a like thing kind of like that. He kind of had a bark, and then his behavior was very dog like. Now his stepsister or adopted sister or whatever, she was very affectionate too. Totally different story when her actual sister passed away. Before her sister passed away, um, that cat was kind of the snooty cat. But then when she was by herself, she just like, boom, she just bonded like crazy. Like she was with me all the time. But then we got the replacement cat, and he, you know, oh, he was needy, like needy. Like, wow. Like he needed your CBT seriously. But anyway, I swear he was raised by puppies because he just acted like a dog, you know, all the
Like
time.
Mowgli.
There you go. Exactly.
Mowgli. I love
100%.
Mowgli. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
do
awesome.
too. So yeah, this has been an absolute blast, and I really,
Yeah.
really, really want to recommend to you because you already have the headset, you already have the microphone, and you know the chutzpah and the understanding of dogs to maybe do something on Haps on your own. Kizzy and I will be happy to help you produce it, and
Wow.
I'll even be there to help you kind of push the buttons in the background. But I think you need to be on this platform because, you know,
Wow.
like you're doing with your podcast. And in fact, my friend, oh, another Canadian actually, Kaylee LeGrand, she, um, I interviewed her. She's an actress. And then she liked the platform and she took her because she does her podcast, which like a lot of them, you know, just live, right? It's to tape or whatever, but you know, you just do it straight through, no editing or whatever. And so she does her live to tape um, podcast on Haps. And so you get to see the guest and everything. So yeah, I think this would be a great place for you to do, you know, some shows and some awareness and stuff. So happy to talk
Wow,
about
thanks.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it'd be
awesome.
a lot of fun.
Spreading
And
awareness is awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah.
yeah, and you actually can get a little revenue doing this too. People can donate money, sponsor you. You can use it, you know, to you know, pay the bills, which is a good thing, or you could use it to help rescues or whatever. But I think that would be great. And definitely I want you to come back, and it would be fun if we could do a show sometime too where we can talk to some of those rescue folks specifically that are doing that, and how can they, you know, how can people help them, how can people be a part of it and stuff. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This has been great. And thanks for that. That means a lot. And I will do that and keep in touch for sure.
Well,
You're
I
great.
have to
That's
say,
awesome.
yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, it's like the Hotel California. You can check in, but you can never leave. And that is, um, I mean, not to be creepy, but if you
Yeah,
become my
yeah.
friend, you're my friend forever, unless you bite me. But and then
We
we'll
can
take the
fix that.
dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We'll take the dog over to your house there. So the thing though that no, I do want to say in all seriousness is that you were like promoting the show and you were here early and we had a lot of conversation and all of those things would just make for great broadcasting, and I really appreciate how enthusiastic you are about dogs and what you do, and appreciate you coming out here because this time flew by, and I just as it wasn't a rough topic for me. It was oh, I can't think of any dog puns. Anyway, it was a good time.
It was great. Thank you so much. I love what you do. I really do. It's awesome. And thank you for having me on. And yeah, we'll move forward and yeah, I hope yeah, we can keep going ahead with this. It was great. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
it
even
was
believe the
fantastic.
time that just flew through. That was
No, I
holy
know,
crap.
right. And I
Holy
mean,
smokes.
it was a good episode if time flies like that. And it was just a
Yes.
lot of fun. And I
So
really did.
donate to him. Donate, or what do you say?
Thank
Donate
you.
or they
You can
give you money,
sponsor.
or what is it?
You go
Sponsor.
to
There you
my
go.
profile page and sponsor. And
There you go.
you're not in the doghouse tonight, Rev. Thank you, John. And
Yeah,
yes, I have
clever
definitely.
guy.
Yeah, I have definitely been in the doghouse. And how do you know, John? I'm usually in the doghouse, but thank you. And any parting words, Billy? Anything? Did you get your website up there?
Oh, I think I did. Did I get it up there right? Did I do that
Let's
right,
see.
Kizzy? Yeah, and then there's my podcast is and please follow me on Instagram. I've got some cool
Oh yeah, let's
reels and
find your IG here. Let
dogs,
me get
and
that.
that is Upward Dogology. And Facebook, I'm Upward Dogology. Woohoo! There we go. Thank you. And then, yeah, the podcast is Dog Training Disrupted. It's kind of clever because the UP of disrupted is up. Upward is an acronym, by the way, Urban People
Right.
with Adopted and Rescued Dogs. So that's what it stands for. And that's my book. I have a book out too, but I'm doing a second edition on it. So stay tuned for that. But
Oh,
Instagram's
that's
probably
awesome.
where I post and do the most kind of thing, and Facebook. I'm on Twitter too and LinkedIn. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm pretty easy
I've
to
got
find.
your.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Billy, you were just a blast. That was really
Awesome.
fun, and I
Thanks.
really have to say that um, just the joy that you have for the work that you do. You're very lucky and I mean, you you made that luck happen, I think, but that you love what you do because not everybody gets to do that, and you get to hang out
Sure.
with puppies. So well, we of
That's right.
course we know dogs, but of course puppies. So here we go.
We
Here's your
gave you the free
Insta.
on that.
Yes,
Thank you.
we did. That's your
Yeah.
Instagram. Follow her on Instagram and say hello. And yeah, we will definitely stay in touch, and let's think about something you could do on here if you want to. And like I said, we'll 100% support you. The Haps community is very supportive. Oh, they would love you, with the dogs. And then the CEO and from the CEO on down, everybody at Haps is very helpful. So I think you'd have a fun time.
Oh, that sounds great. Thank you so much. It's
Thank you,
been a
Billy.
blast.
All
Thanks.
right. It was great. Absolutely fantastic to meet you. And I know that we will see you again. Stick around for a second, Billy, because we can talk in the green room here. And let me just do a little bit of an outro and let everybody know, look, it costs money to do this show. And I think that people think, I don't know. Do you have a problem when you go buy a car? I mean, I don't want them to make too much profit, but they got to make a profit, right? They got to pay people. They got to keep the lights on. And I pretty much transitioned to doing this full time a couple of months ago, and we've got tons of projects in motion. We've got stuff in pre-production. I'm actually, I guess I can say it. I'm both of these are with other people, but I'm writing film scripts with actual screenwriters, that have written movies. And so we just got all kinds of stuff coming. We've got the production company, RevMac Live Productions, and we're definitely going to be producing some shows on Haps and maybe for YouTube. And I mean, live streaming is the thing, folks. There will be 1 million paid people in China making a living enough to live. And obviously it costs less to live in China, doing live streaming, and social credit and social currency are huge. And that's all ramped up into live streaming. So you can do this for a living. You can be on here on Haps. If you're a musician, you can very easily get paid. You can get paid here. But the point is, you don't go to Burger King and say, give me a hamburger, and they just give it to you. But you can watch this show for free. But like PBS, if you want good things like this to keep coming, become a sponsor. You can do that at my profile page. What else you can do for me is, if you know a business like Club Deck, or we're not going to forget our friends at Scooch, rhymes with Pooch, at Scooch, because they're our sponsor as well, with their Wigman cases, with their cool design. And we'll have a couple of links here once I figure out where to put the show notes for these folks. So Ecuador is my emergency exit. I'm not moving to China. Mine would be, I haven't been there, but definitely South America, and it used to be Belize, Luke. If you had $50,000 and you deposit it in the equivalent of the National Bank of Belize, then somehow you would magically get a passport. So I'm sure that number has gone up. But yes, I mean, I don't have that kind of money, so I would have to go to a poorer country maybe or something. But but anyway, yes, Belize would be my place to go. Hello from Food Distribution Warehouses, grilled cheese. Wow, you've definitely got a theme there. And yes, we are RevMac Live. We are Revolution McKinnis. This is the big interview. It was the big interview. Thank you so very much for joining us. Clubdeck.app. Club Deck. Kizzy, could you put that in there for me? Maybe find it first and see if it's an HTTPS site. Clubdeck.app. They are a sponsor. Fantastic guys that have put a great piece of software together. Support them, and you're supporting me. But go ahead and support me directly. And if you know anybody that's got a national product, or a international or national product or service that could sponsor the show with advertising, and we'll create some commercials and stuff for them, and would be happy to have them. So send them my way. And I am going to be here on Wednesday night. And off the top of my head, I'm not probably off. No, we do. I think we do have somebody on Wednesday. So we'll be here Wednesday. Don't forget Saturday. The big interview is not on Saturday, but the RevMac Live Pop-Up Film Festival is, and it is Horror Fest, and we have movies, lots of them. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we will see you on Saturday. Billie, again, you're back there. I'm just so appreciative of you. Listen, everybody, thanks for joining us. You can tip your waiters and waitresses on other programs on Haps, so do that too. Don't think that you just have to do it for me, because this is all about love and sharing. And follow me on IG, and we will talk to everybody on Wednesday, June 28th, on a Tuesday. I think we have Tom Conkle, and I put that out there so early because I know Tom has a lot of fans on here. Thank you, Kizzy, for putting the Club Deck act there. Club Deck app there. All right, everybody. Thank you. Peace be with you, and namaste.